Hey there, it's Words and Stitches and I'm Mary. This is my channel about quilting. It's been such a long time since I really just sat down and visited and talked to you guys and talked about what I've been doing and showing you what I've been doing, or at least some of the things, maybe teaching a few little beginner quilting things here and there. So today's the day. Here I am sitting down. I'm at my handy dandy sewing machine. My long arm's just a little over an arm's length that way. And I'm just taking a break from working on a customer quilt. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to talk to you guys. It's been a long time. I wish I could tell you that I had built mansions and climbed mountains, which I kind of did, but that was just Storm King in Washington, state of Washington, which was an interesting day for my husband and I. But mainly I've just been living life and hanging out with my wonderful kids and my 2 grandsons and my husband and having a great time. So today's the day that I'm coming back because I've always enjoyed being on YouTube with you guys, and it just I just needed a break, I think. I had some family losses and different things that were kind of getting in the way in my brain. And so anyway, no more excuses. I'm here now. And man, have I been having a great time this year. So I want to talk to you about that a little bit. Last year, I became a So Kind of Wonderful certified instructor, which means that I learned how to use the rulers, and now I can teach you with Jenny and Helen's blessing because they know I know how to do it. So that's cool. And I got to meet them in person at H&H in May. I had the best time at H&H. H&H Americas, it was up around Chicago. It's fiber arts, kind of like Quilt Market, but so much more stuff. Anyway, I got to go up there with my friend Rhonda and my friend Cheryl, and I'll tell you a little bit more about them in a minute. But I got to go up there, and while I was up there, I met Jen Kingwell, who so talented, just so talented, and so very kind. While I was talking to her, we were talking about her 2 books, Quilt Recipes and Gathered, and she just handed me a packet of papers to do one of her quilts out of her Gathered book. So I just kind. That's, I got to meet Crystal Manning, who is a designer for Moda. She makes beautiful stuff I love. So that was really cool. I saw so many people. I'm just a fangirl. I was just seeing people right and left. Cheryl and Rhonda were laughing at me. The very first person I saw before I even got in the building was Gudrun Erla. I think her married name now is Johnson, but I'm not sure. But she's GE Quilt Designs. She was walking down the street having a conversation with her, the people who were there working with her at the show. And I was just like, oh my gosh, because I love her stripology ruler. This is kind of becoming just a name dropping visit, but I'm so excited. I got to meet all these people. Ever since COVID, I have been a big fan of Arna and Carlos, the Norwegian knitters. I can knit a little, but they just kind of filled my days, and I really enjoyed them. And I didn't get to speak to them, but I went to their booth where they were selling their new yarns, and I got really close to them. But someone walked up from the industry and was talking to them, and I just, smiled and went on because they really are human beings, and I got to see them in person, which is, kind of fun for all of us. Anyway, let's see. What else did I do while I was in H&H? I can't even tell you. I got to see all kinds of cosplay costumes and the entire array of Valdani thread, all the things that I love. I didn't buy a whole lot while I was there. I did buy a bolt of 9 acres batting. I'm trying it. If I like it, I may just stick to it. I cut my first piece today, so we'll see how it goes. So far, so good. It's really, really got a nice hand to it, a really nice feel to it. And I bought these, well, let me see if I can get down. Oh, these are the ones that are all sewn together. So I bought these little Cantha squares and from Amy Butler. She had a booth at H&H, and I just love them. I just love her. She designs such beautiful things. But anyway, so I am sewing them together. Let's see if you can see that. I'm sewing them together, and I've trimmed the seams, and I am teaching myself some really cool new stitches to go right along the edges. I don't know if I have any done ones where you can really see what I was doing. I don't think so. I don't think so. But they're all here. You can kind of see I'm starting to get some of them put together. And crazy beautiful. Crazy beautiful. So much fun. I don't think I really bought anything else while I was there. I know I met a lot more people than that. You know, I got to see Kay Facette in person. Tula, of course, was there. Helen and Jenny were just lovely from So Kind of Wonderful. I enjoyed that conversation as much as anything I did that whole week because I like to make their patterns and I'm a certified teacher and they are just so kind and it was just so fun. And I met Helen's daughter. We had a lovely coffee conversation while we were waiting in line at Starbucks in this convention center for like 40 minutes to get a coffee. They were that busy. There were that many people there. But H&H was wonderful. I got to spend time with Rhonda. Rhonda is Primetime Quilt Company. We met years ago. Not that many years ago, but maybe 6 years ago. Yeah, 6, 7, maybe 5. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. She's become a dear, dear friend. And she is a very talented pattern designer. Excuse me. And I got to spend time with her and we caught up on family and friends and life in general and talked about designing. I've helped her do some editing of some of her patterns and I've also helped with testing some of her patterns. And she's going to be in 3 magazines. Maybe it's 4 by now. I'm not sure. But watch for her name. She's up and coming and she has a great eye, And my friend Cheryl, I got to spend drive time and daytime with my friend Cheryl while I was there. She is a local shop owner. She's up on the 36 Quilt Trail in Missouri. And the name of her shop is Stitch and Clip Quilting. And in a little bitty spot called Lintner, but boy, it's a shop with a big bang. It might be in a little town, little spot. There's not even a town there anymore. But she has a great eye. She has some of the best fabrics, and she's really excited what she has coming in for fall. I do a lot of teaching at her shop, and we've become good friends, and I just had the best time, just the best time. So that was exciting, getting to go to H&H, but I have to tell you, a couple of weeks ago, I got to go to Sister's Outdoor Quilt Show. Bucket list for sure. I had a wonderful time. I took some classes, and I'll tell you about those in just a minute. Got to go to the store owned by Jean and Valerie Wells. Valerie Wells is a fabric designer. Her mother, an artist. Well, they're both artists. Her mother's Jean. They are both artists, and they have the nicest shop in Sisters, Oregon. And they put on the Sisters Outdoor Quilt Show, the world's largest outdoor quilt show. I'd wanted to go for a long time, and Rhonda had retired in January, and I said, come go with me. So we flew to Portland, had a rental car, drove over Mount Hood, went to a little town called Richmond where we stayed in a lovely Airbnb. Modern Cozy Cottage, Modern Cottage. Look for it on Airbnb. It's a cute little place to stay. We had the best accommodations there, and we drove in every day to Sisters, which was about a 15, well, you know, it was a 2-lane highway with some passing lanes, and you're in kind of the high desert mountainous area, and so you just really, you have to drive 55 or less. So you don't get there really fast, but you know, 20 minutes, whatever. They had classes all week called Quilters Affair, and it was in their high school, their local high school. Lovely school, very, very well kept school. Looks like a whole lot of fun stuff goes on there, a lot of good learning, which is cool for me because I taught for a long time. But I took a class called Creative Alchemy with Kelly Sheets, and it was kind of a really nice reset, a reminder that, you know, I have control of my creativity, and since I've been back, I've been working on kind of working my way through that and being the person I want to be. We didn't want to travel with machines, and I didn't rent a machine. My friend Rhonda did and took a class, but I did some other stuff on Friday. But anyway, we took this Kelly Sheets class together and enjoyed it a lot. And then I took a class with Allie McCatherine. She is the sea glass designer. Here's mine. It's still in process. I need to fill this side up. I just haven't had much time to do it, but I'm really excited about it. And I want to show you, I think I'll see my snails. It's a snail trail. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not sure what I'm going to do in my finishing work. It's a work in progress, but it was a terrific class. Again, a lot of work with color and thought and design, and just, I designed it once and went, this is just so bad. And Allie looked at it and said, I think you got 2 different quilts going on there. Maybe try. And I went, oh, so I took it back to the cottage, and we had the best time working on ours and getting them all stuck down so we could get back on the plane. That was fun. And it was just a very refreshing class and kind of takes you out of your comfort zone. I'm all about things that take me out of my comfort zone these days. I don't know if it's an age thing or what, but anyway, while I was there, I also picked up Jean Wells. This one is Inspired Art Quilting. I have never aspired to be an art quilter, but man, she kind of makes you think about everything you do, whether you're doing traditional, you're doing a take on traditional, or man, if you're into art quilting, this is a good book for you. She talks a lot about color. It's a great book. I need to get it finished, but I haven't got there yet. And I bought some beautiful fabrics. I'm in love with this piece, this green piece right here. Can you tell? I kind of like that minty tealy green. And I bought some wool, and I'm working on some Valerie Wells, just little charms. And I'm doing, I'm not sure what I'm doing yet, but I'm doing some hand stitching and kind of sprucing that up again. I used to hand stitch a lot and do a lot of embroidery as a kid. I loved to embroider. Oh, excuse me, it's nap time. I'm sorry. Anyway, it was the best of times, but I have to tell you about my Friday at Quilters Affair. So when my school shut down for COVID, I would teach on Zoom in the mornings, and then in the afternoon I'd watch YouTube and piddle around, do things, sew, knit, entertain myself, go out in my yard, whatever. But I got to where I was addicted to YouTube, and I'm still a YouTube junkie. I love it. I check it every day. But I found this woman named Anna Bates, Quilt Roadies, Stitch Roadies. Excuse me. Let's see if that'll do it. Okay. So, I got to where I watched her all the time. I still do. Watch her all the time. Enjoy her. Hold on 1 minute. I'll be right back. Okay. Maybe I got it. Forgive the hard candy. It's a little cinnamon disc. I love those things. I used to keep them in my classroom all the time. Those and root beer barrels. Anyway, so let's get back to Quilt Roadie, Stitch Roadie, Anna Bates. So I've watched her and watched her and watched her and watched her. And I just feel like I know her. I just do. I just feel like we were fast friends anyway, or would have been. So she does some sit and stitch classes for Quilters Affair every year. And instead of taking another class, I spent my day Friday in one of her sit and stitch classes or classrooms. It was in the library. And I walked in the door and instantly got to meet her. A fangirling again, but let me tell you, it was just so nice to see her smile in person and to get to visit with her. So I went and sat down and started working. And this lovely, lovely woman sat next to me. Her name was Tracy, or is Tracy. And she was from California. And we just struck up a conversation. We were having the best conversation. And then I got to meet a Maker's Life, Cheryl, of Cheryl and Colleen, Stitching with the Sisterlies. Anyway, I spent 90% of that day sitting around, visiting, and getting to know Anna and Cheryl and Tracy. And it was the best time. I enjoyed that so much. It did something to me, to my heart, just a little bit. Just a little bit. To get to meet these people in person and actually have a conversation. I even know what Winky Juice is. If you don't know what Winky Juice is, you might need to check out a Maker's Life. Or you might find it on Quilt Roadies or Stitch Roadies, because Anna and Cheryl are really good friends. They live really close together in Oregon, which I'm jealous because Oregon's just, it's my place. It could be my home away from home. That's for sure. So that's what I've been doing lately. I will put some pictures of the quilt show. I have to tell you, the quilt show was just, I was in awe, walking around the town in awe, going, oh my goodness, oh my gosh. I tried to take some pictures, but I just got so wrapped up in just being present and enjoying everything I saw. I didn't get as many as a lot of people probably did. I'll put some pictures of all this stuff that's, been going on in my life a little bit at the end, and you can kind of look at it. But I want to talk to you about something, well, maybe two things that are coming up for me. I have some new patterns that are, they're not written yet. And I have some that are written and on my website, wordsandstitches.com, for sale, PDF download. So one of my goals is to work on getting them so that if somebody wants a paper copy, I can just mail you a paper copy. Or I can have them for classes that I intend to teach in the future. One of the things that I also am going to do in the way of teaching is I'm getting ready to put up, I've been working with Lyric Kennard and Tori McElwain and Beth Ann Williams on the Academy for Virtual Teachers. And I am working really hard to get myself set up to start doing some online classes. So I hope to have a launch for that in August and possibly ready to go 1st of September. We're going to be doing my Possibilities quilt, and the class is called A Quilt of Possibilities. It's for beginners. So if you know somebody who wants to learn, how to quilt, but they don't have time to take classes, or their schedule doesn't allow them to go take classes in person or whatever. They may enjoy it. So I need a few more weeks to get it perfected and to get it finished. And I have some customer quilts I'm trying to get done real quick here in the next week or so I can really focus on a little bit more of my stuff for a little bit. The other thing is I'm working on a series of quilts. I want to show you my very first quilt, okay? I don't know if I've ever told you all the story of me learning to quilt. It even has stains on it because I used it on my table for quite a while. This is it. Very small, very small. I have a friend who lives in Georgia. Her name's Emily. And she and her mom used to make quilts. And she brought one out one day and we were just talking about it, and I was helping her pin it. She was showing me how she pinned her quilt, and I was helping her pin it so she could get it done for it was a gift. It was a gift. Anyway, so I said, you would love this. You know, you sew all the time. You would love this. You should do this. I'm going, no. One long after that, I had the filthy habit of smoking. Anyway, I quit for my health because I've lost an awful lot of people in my life to cigarettes. You know, just a lot. And so I gave them up. That's really difficult. I don't know if any of you've done that where you've had to give something that's highly addictive up, but it's very, very difficult, and kudos to anyone who quit. But I had these two sassy boys who are wonderful human beings, but they were, I was just getting hateful with them. You know, I was just going through a rough time, and I just called her one day and said, I got to do something. I'm going to hurt somebody around here. Anyway, jokingly, it was all jokingly, but she said, well, you know, you could try. So I said, well, tell me, tell me a quilt block. So she suggested I make a pinwheel block right off the bat. So I did. It's not perfect. And I hand quilted it. For a long time, I hand quilted everything. But it took one Sunday afternoon and a couple of pinwheel blocks, and I was hooked. Absolutely hooked. So that was about 25, 26 years ago. Since then, I've made several other pinwheel quilts. And my friend Rhonda and I were talking about creativity, and right now I'm working on a series of pinwheel quilts. Now, I know those of you who've quilted for a long time, you've gone, well, it's pinwheel. Yeah, it's pinwheel. But I'm trying to see what I can do with pinwheels because they are still my very favorite quilt block. And I have some tricks that I use to get them perfect. This one was far from perfect, but it didn't take me long to learn how to flatten my seams and make my points come out right. All of those things. And so kind of be watching for that. Let's see. Seems like I had one more thing I wanted to do today. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. So this is just real quick, but I have to tell you, I taught this little mini day camp at the local Y, which is in Mexico. I live in Missouri, people. I live in the middle of the country in Missouri, and I don't know about you, but it's like 110 in the shade right now. Where you know, it might not be that where you are, but so I taught these. I was teaching hand stitching. You know, sewing and quilting will become a lost art if we don't start teaching the young people, the short people, as a friend of mine, Andy, says, how to do things. They need to know how to straight stitch, and they need to know how to back stitch and whip stitch and sew on a button, for goodness sakes. Those kinds of things. and learn to be creative and exercise that creativity. Well, one of the things that I found when I was teaching that class is the creativity's there, and when they're young, they're fun and they'll try anything. But one of the things that these little guys would struggle with is threading a needle and tying a knot. So I'm going to show you real quick here before I go how I go about threading a needle and how I tie a quilter's knot, which I use for almost every single kind of hand sewing that I do. So first of all, you need to length the thread. And I'm really bad about this. Do as I say, not as I do, but about 18 inches. I kind of got a little overboard there with my 18 inches, but that's kind of a goal. You don't want so much that it's not up on you. And you know, some people like to spit on the end of their thread. I am one of those people, but I'm going to try to do it without that today so I don't gross you out. But here's what I found. If you can hold your thread, I don't know if you can see that. If you can hold your thread up really tight like that and take your thread to your needle. Now I'm using a big needle so that you can see. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my thread to my needle as opposed to my needle to my thread. Sometimes when you take needle to thread, you get this stuff going on. But if you take your thread to your needle and you're looking at the eye, that's not so difficult. It went right through, okay? Threaded needle. Just something to think about. They make needle threaders. They make needle thread helpers, all kinds of things. If you need that because of eyesight or agility in your fingers, go for it. But that's just a little tip I have for you is take the thread to the needle, not the needle to the thread. The other thing I want to show you is how I tie a knot. I'm going to move in real close here so maybe you can see my hands more than me yakking, and I can show you what I do. So I lay the thread. I'm left-handed, so you have to think about it a minute, but I lay the thread on my right index finger and hold it with my thumb. And then I lay the needle on top, facing up. So I'm holding thread next to, I'm not very good at that. Here, let's see if that helps. Does that help? So I've got thread laid on my finger, needle over the thread, holding with my thumb. And then I take the thread, wrap it around 3 or 4 times, depending on what I'm doing, and take my fingernails, hold it tight, and pull. And look at that. I don't know if you can see it. See my little knot there? Let's find a place where you can really see it. Oh, let me find something. Let's see. Let's see if you can see it. If I put it. Do you see my knot? Right there. See it right there? Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to teach 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds how to do these knots. So if you're teaching someone about sewing, someone young or someone new or about sewing, you might just start out with the quilter's knot, and maybe those little tips will help you help them. Okay? All right. Well, I'm glad to sit down and chit-chat with you guys, even though I was bragging mainly about all my trips to H&H and to Oregon to sisters, and they were, you know, kind of once-in-a-lifetime things for me, and I was just so thrilled to get to go to both. And I was, you know, great spending time with my friends Cheryl and Rhonda and making new friends, Anna and Cheryl and Tracy and all the people. And it was just a terrific time. So here at the end, I'll put some pictures in of some of the things that I've been doing. So stay tuned for that. And thanks for just logging on and listening today. It's going to be more and more. I won't take as long a break next time, I promise. Anyway, thanks. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed my little chat or my little walk down memory lane, you can give me a like, maybe subscribe, which would be awesome. And I'll see you real soon.